Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Pbsh here, and today we are going to be making rolling thunder guns from best to worst. Before this video starts, I would like to say that my Discord is now out. It's in the link in the description. It's going to be my community Discord, and also go follow me on my Twitter. It's right here. It's nothing special really, but go follow my Twitter and go join my Discord link. It's in the description. That's all. Let's continue with the video. Alright, so first up we have the Mkpm, basically the Makarov if you ever played any other game. The Mkpm, I'm gonna have to give it a D tier, lowest tier. Really not a good weapon. If you're just trying to get kills off the bat, don't use the Mkpm, use the M1911. D tier, probably one of the worst weapons ever in the game, most likely. And that leads us to the 1911. 1911, I'm gonna have to give it B tier. Really good starting weapon. It does a lot of damage, and if you're trying to just get points to get all these other weapons, I recommend using the M1911 instead of the Mkpm. Alright, next up we have the MAS 38. I'm gonna give this C tier. Putting in C tier because it takes a while to actually kill the person that you're trying to kill. They usually just tank a lot of the bullets. Doesn't do much damage at all. It has a pretty good fire rate, not gonna lie, but like, I feel like the damage that it actually brings out is not worth like any of it. Alright, next we have the KS-23. I'm gonna have to give this A tier. This is one of the best like starting weapons that I can recommend for anyone. It does so much damage to the body, 2 shots to the body, 1 shot to the head, like it's crazy. It does so much damage. The only reason I'm not putting it S tier is because it's a shotgun. You can't kill people from long distances, and it doesn't have much of a magazine, but the damage output that it gives is pretty high, so I'm bringing this A tier. Alright, next up we have the Pbsh. I'm going to have to bring this to B tier. Much better than the MAS 38. It has higher fire rate, higher damage output, and higher damage range, but it's not going to be A or S tier because it doesn't have much of a magazine capacity unless you're willing to go pay Robux for the 2x capacity. So that's why I'm giving it B tier. Next up we have the M16A1. I'm gonna have to give this a B tier. It has a high fire rate, high damage output, and high damage range. I'm giving it B tier because the mobility for the gun is really low, and the magazine size. With the high fire rate and the magazine size being so low, they don't really go well together because you're constantly reloading. And the mobility, since it's such a large map and you're running so slow, it's not really going to work out. Next up we have the XM177. I have to give this A tier because it's basically the same thing as the M16A1, except it has higher mobility and a slightly increased damage output. That's why I'm giving it an A tier. Next up we got the Mosin. I'm gonna have to give this a B tier. It is the only sniper rifle that actually one-hits to the torso, and you might be thinking that is really good. I don't know why you're not bringing it any higher. Not bringing it higher because it's not semi-auto like all the other snipers are, and the magazine size is really low. Also, the reloading speed is so slow. It is 1 bullet at a time, while all the other snipers is semi-auto, has a lot of big magazine capacity, and has a faster reloading speed. Alright, next up we have the M3A1. I'm gonna have to give this an A tier. You know what? Matter of fact, I'm gonna give this S tier. First S tier of the tier list. This is a really good weapon. It has high magazine capacity, high damage range, high damage output overall. Fire rate is kind of low, but that doesn't matter because it's like a 2 hit to the body or something, like a 2 or 3 hit to the body, and like the fire rate can cover it. Like it doesn't matter what the fire rate is. I mean, it kind of does if it's like a thing of fire every like 1 second. That's a bit of a problem. But it's like around 2, like it's about like a fire every half second. It's not that bad. You can get a lot of kills with this, so that's why I'm giving it S tier. Next up we have the Model 1100, and can I just say that these two guns look exactly alike, although they're not the same one. The gun models look the exact same. Alright, I'm gonna have to give this one an A tier. It's basically the same shotgun, except I think this one has more ammo, maybe? If not, then I don't know. It's basically the same thing, same damage range. I think this one has a bit more damage output, but it's basically the same thing. These iron sights are a bit better, so like, if we were gonna have to like rank them like this, I'd probably do this one, and that one. Alright, so I just fixed up the tier list a bit. So now it's like the farthest to the back is going to be the worst of that tier. So like 1911 is probably the worst of this tier. Although it's better than this gun, it's still the worst of this. It's better than this. It's like kind of the in between. It's like really far in the back. All right, next up we have the M1A1, and I'm gonna have to give this one an S tier. It's really good. High damage output, high fire rate, high magazine capacity. The only reason it's not above this gun is because the damage output is higher on the other weapon, and also the damage range is also higher. And also, I like the iron sight more on this one than I did the M1A1. Next up, we have the model 7188. I'm gonna have to give this a D tier, less than this one. Although it is higher on the cost range, I'm gonna have to give it lower. It is an automatic, but it only has like 1 or 2 more bullets that it can hold, and most of the time you missed most of them shots unless you're like right in front of their face. So yeah, I'm gonna have to give this one a B tier. Not as good as these two shotguns, one of the worst ones. Next up we have the M14E2. I'm going to have to give this one a C tier. Okay, this gun has high fire rate. That's all I really have to say about it. It has a high fire rate, that's it. Very high recoil, not that much of a magazine capacity, which with the high fire rate does not go well. And the damage output is not that good, but if you consider it with the fire rate, then you know it doesn't really matter. High fire rate with the damage that it actually gives is pretty good, but I'm gonna have to give it a C tier because it's hard to control and doesn't have much of a magazine capacity. Next up we have the M1C. I'm gonna have to give this one a B tier and below the Mosin because it doesn't have much of a good damage output. It is semi-auto, but another thing that really brings it really down in points is the scope. The scope is really not good looking. It does not look good at all. It doesn't have good zoom, and it's just not good in general. And like, if that's what you're going to be looking at a scope whenever you're aiming in on a sniper, it's not good. So you like, it has to have like a good scope in order for me to actually use it as a sniper. Next up we have the Brin, and I'm going to have to give this one a C tier. Although it may have a really high damage output, the mobility on this thing is not good at all. And also the reload speed is also really low, even though it has like only 30 bullets in its mag. Iron sights are not bad, but they're also not good. So I'm gonna have to give this one around like probably the best of the C tier. Alright, so next up we have the SKS. The best sniper in the game, I think. I'm gonna have to give it a low A tier. It has a really good damage output, it's semi-auto, which is really good. And the mobility is not bad, neither good, so it's kind of okay, I guess. And I'm not putting it any higher because you know it's a sniper. I don't usually run snipers, but I could if I wanted to, but I just don't. Next up we have the Type 56. I'm gonna have to give this one a really high A tier. It has a high magazine capacity, a high fire rate, no recoil. It's literally a laser, and the reload speed is like really good. I honestly don't have any problem with this weapon, like at all. Next up we have the DP27, and I'm gonna have to give this one a high A tier. It has really high magazine capacity, also has a really high damage output, but the accuracy is really low, the mobility is really low, the reload speed is really low, and I have to give it a high A tier. Not S tier, but a high A tier. Lastly, we have the China Lake. I mean, I'm just gonna have to give it an S tier. Do I really have to explain myself? Oh my god! What the before I get any comments of why I'm not putting it at the highest of the S tier, is because its mobility is pretty low. It's not the highest. It's not low, but it's not really the highest. The reloading speed is not that good. It's slower than the shotguns, which I can see why, but the reloading speed is low either way. So yeah, that's been my tier list for the Rolling Thunder guns. So that has been my tier list. If you have any comments about it, go leave them down in the description below. That's been all from me. Like, subscribe, turn on post notifications so that you can see whenever I upload, because I do not upload daily. I upload at random times. So like if you ever need to see whenever I upload a video, go turn on post notifications so you can see whenever I do. But yeah, go check out my Twitter, go check out my Discord, link in the description, and I'll see y'all guys in the next video. Peace.